Hello and welcome. My name's Lil Sun, and today I'm going to be covering the top 10 characters to main in Brawlhalla. Obviously, these are my opinions, and I think I'm qualified to give them. I've hit Diamond, I think 3 or 4 seasons in a row now. I hit like top 250 EU a couple of times this season already, and overall, I consider myself to be pretty good at the game. So, these are going to be characters which I think either are unrepresented as like people who don't main them enough, but they're good, because if you main a character like that, then people have less experience against your character and you may be able to surprise them, even higher level players. And characters which are just overall have always been good and will always be good, because I don't want to advise you to main a character like right now. I could advise everyone to go main Zol. See, Zol right now is really strong because Cannon is really good, like overpowered, best weapon in the game, sort of good. An axe is really good as well, but if Cannon and Axe were to get nerfed, Zol doesn't have anything which can really make him stand out and make him still good. So he would be bad, and then I'd be recommending you a character to main who isn't good, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be covering characters which have always kind of been good, and always will be good, and some characters which might be very strong and no one knows. I think I've got 1 or 2 characters in here which will surprise people. So I'm going to be doing 10 to 1, but they're not really in an exact order. So 9 and 10 won't really matter, 9 and 8 won't really matter, but like the difference between 10 and 1 will matter a slight bit. So if you're like on the edge, then go with the higher number. But overall, any of these 10 characters, they are all amazing, and I think you guys should start them. So number 10 is Koji. Koji is just a good fundamental character. Koji's always been good. Koji always will be good, as in most of these characters on these tier lists. But the reason I think Koji's a great character to get into is just Koji's SIGs. Koji's SIGs, first of all. See, I'm not going to be covering characters with a specific gimmick, because some characters have this one SIG or this one thing that they can do, which is a big gimmick about them, and that might make them difficult to deal with. These are going to be characters which you can play at all ranks and find success with. You can find success with characters at all ranks, but if a character has this one gimmick, that won't work all the time, because people have learned about them. But Koji's, because of the weapons and SIGs. Koji's a very fundamental character. He's got bow sword. You'll see a lot of sword in this tier list, actually, because sword has always really been a strong weapon. It's the average weapon. It's average speed, average combos, average kill power, average range. It's overall just a really good weapon, and it always will be a really good weapon. So Koji's number 10 because his second weapon is bow, and bow and sword do very similar things. Bow's got a bit more range but a bit less speed, and bow also does a bit less damage per hit. But bow has that really long range, and obviously shooting arrows, and that makes it a strong weapon. And his SIGs are really good. They are quick, they do their job, and overall, even at my level, sometimes you just get caught by them randomly. And Koji is just a very strong character. That's enough for Koji. We're going to go into number 9. Diana. See, Diana is a bit different to Koji. Koji is very well rounded. Diana is all about range. Bow and guns. Bow and blasters, sorry. 2 very, very long range weapons. And these weapons complement her SIGs, which also are pretty decent ranged on guns, but very short ranged on bow. So Diana is a strong character because of the range and her pretty good stats. She's got well-rounded stats across the board, and this is because Diana can outrange her opponents. Obviously, having a lot of range, that's a very strong part of her kit. So a Diana player will often be really good at spacing, which is putting yourself at a position where you can hit them, but they can't hit you. And you can space, and you put a lot of space in between you, and know the range your moves can hit, and you know the range their moves can hit, so you pick where to stand. That is spacing. And having all this range gets you really good at that. If you ever place an amazing Diana, you'll notice that sometimes you just can't get in, you can't get near them, because they can create this wall with their 2 long range weapons. That's what makes them good. Now there's a couple characters in here which are underrepresented, and this is one of them. Cross coming at number 8. And I think Cross is extremely good because of one really long range weapon, blasters, and one really short range weapon, gauntlets. He has pretty good stats, okay stats, and he has good weapon synergy. See, having two good weapons can make a character good, but weapon synergy is where it comes in. So Teros has axe and hammer, and they're both two very amazing weapons right now. But Teros won't be that good because his weapon synergy is not there. His weapons do the same thing. They're big, heavy hitters. Whereas a character like Cross has a long-ranged weapon where you keep them out, and a short-range weapon where you go in. And that means you, as Cross, you can dictate the pace of the fight. If you want them to chill out and stop rushing you down, you just pick up the blasters and you just back up from them. You keep your distance. And if they want to play passive, you rush them down with gauntlets. His SIGs have amazing force. That's one thing. You can kill people very early with them, and that makes him very good. Now, going on to a very controversial pick for many people. If you play the game a lot, you'll know why. Vector. I think Vector, he doesn't get any love in this game. I'm going to be honest. I max rank, I'm diamond. I haven't seen the last time. I can't remember the last time I played a Vector. It's so long ago. He's even a new character, and he just doesn't get that love. But Vector's good. He's really good. He's got good stats, good SIGs, good weapons, okay weapon synergy. His weapons work. They do the job. Vector is a good character, and if you want to make a character where people are gonna be like, "Wait, what just happened to me?" Like I wasn't expecting that. If you want to surprise people, Vector is the one on this tier list. Vector is the character on this tier list which you will be able to surprise people even at high ranks, because many people won't even know what his SIGs do and what his SIGs animation looks like, or how fast they are, or where they hit. And that is a very, that element of surprise is very good, and it gives you a kind of a head start on other players. Even if you're worse than someone, you can just surprise them, catch them out. Number 6 is going to be Val. Val, like Koji, has two pretty fundamental weapons. You got sword, gauntlets. Gauntlets is basically sword, lower range, a bit faster, and has more combo potential. But sword, I've already talked about it, fundamental weapon, very, very good. Always very good. Val, always be very good because of her stats. See, this is something that she has that other characters don't. As you can see, I have 6 defense and 7 speed. Now, those stats on their own are amazing, but then if I go into Dex stance, if I go into the stance that takes away from Dex, now I have 7 defense and 7 speed. This makes her very, very hard to kill, and it means she has low Dex, and Dex is bad right now, and Dex isn't that good, but her stats kind of carry her as a character. She has great SIGs, which are like medium speeds, but they have really good force, and she has some fun things you can do, some good tech. She has SIGs that do multiple things, so if you side SIG in the air, then you fall down, but if you do it on stage, then you go across. Lots of different things you can do with her, and that makes her, that's why she is number 6, and what makes her so unique, and what makes her just overall a fundamental, which is what you're gonna hear me say that word a lot, because that's what many of these characters are. They're just basic characters. They don't have some stupid gimmick. They're just good all around. And then we're gonna get on to number 5, which is a character, but a weapon mainly. I'm talking about Greatsword. See, Jae Young right now is the only Greatsword character, but they're gonna release another one after this. But obviously, I can't see into the future. I don't know who that is. But Jae Young has Greatsword. Now, I'm gonna recommend Greatsword as a weapon to main because of this fact. Greatsword came out, I think, a month ago, or around a month ago. It came out in July. So everyone who's been playing the game for years. So I've been playing the game for years. I could have been playing Spear for years now and have all that 2 years of experience on Spear, let's say. But Jae Young just came out with Greatsword. So if you start the game now, the max they have over you is 25 days of experience. So you could become a god at Greatsword, or as good as the best Greatsword players really quickly, because it just came out, and because it came out, it's a new weapon. There's a bunch of hype around it, a bunch of content around it. There's a bunch of guides. I have a guide on my channel if you want to check that out. there's lots of guides and lots of information on this weapon, which is really easy to find, which is going to make it an amazing weapon to main. Jaehyun is the only character, so obviously I'm doing a character tier list, so Jaehyun comes in at 5. But I'm not sure what the next one they release is going to be. They could be an amazing character, a lot better. Like when they released Orb, they released Dusk, but then they released Fate, the patch after, and Fate is miles better than Dusk. So if the next character comes out and they're better than Jaehyun, then main them. But overall, Greatsword. If you just pick up and like main Greatsword, learn some of its tech. It's a very hard weapon. So if you're new, I wouldn't recommend it that much. But if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you could become an amazing Greatsword player, because people won't know how to play against you because the weapon's new, and people won't even know how your character works. Some people in Diamond haven't put in the time to understand what Greatsword does, you know. So that element of surprise, like Vector, is gonna make you very, very strong. So Jaehyun is a character that I highly recommend because Greatsword has a lot of cool tech. And yeah, number 4 is gonna be Mordex. See, Mordex is my highest level character, my main right now. They have Scythe and Gauntlet. See, this is gonna be the first Scythe legend I've put here, and I think I've only got one more because Scythe is hard. Scythe is very hard, and you don't always get that reward. It's a weapon which has way more moves than other weapons, because you can, if you hit someone with a move, some of them you can just turn the other way or change what the move does. It's called active input, and that means that you have to learn a lot more combos, a lot more strings. But the reward is you get the access to the extra moves. And then Gauntlets is a string weapon, which just like racks up damage quickly. But the weapon combination, the weapon synergy, means you can 0 to death people, you can gimp people, you can kill people quickly. And in combination with pretty good stats, like very good stats, and God tier SIGs, his SIGs also have, some of his SIGs also have active input, so you can like throw people different directions. His SIGs are God tier, and makes him a very strong character, and he will always be good. I can't remember a time where Mordex has necessarily been bad. He's been best character in the game, and he's been like a good character. He's never been below that. And now coming on to the top 3. Number 3 is going to be the next Scythe legend, Fate. Fate, because right now she's the best character in the game in my opinion. She has nutty SIGs, the best SIGs in the game in my opinion, the best SIG kit in the game overall. And she has Scythe and Orb. 2 very good weapons. It's quite difficult, as I just said. But overall, Fate is just very, very strong. Like, it's Fate. If you've ever played the game before, you know that Fate SIGs are quick. Fate has good stats. Fate has a good weapon synergy. Fate is gonna be good forever. Fate is a newer character, so people still may not understand the stats. But overall, she's really, 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 really good and worth putting the time in, because in my opinion, she's the best character. Now the top 2 are going to be characters which tons of people main, like, because they are just so, like, they're so basic, you know, they're so down to earth characters. Hitori is number 2 for me. Hitori has Sword and Spear and good SIGs. That's all you really need. These weapons are always going to be pretty okay. She's got high speed and she's very fun, you know. She's a ninja, obviously. Like, people are going to play her. And overall, she is a good character. Hitori is worth putting the time in and worth playing. Budva is number 1. The most basic character in the game. Hammer, sword. It's Budva. He's like everything's balanced around Budva, so he will never be bad. Hammer and sword, 2 basic weapons, a heavy weapon and a medium to light weapon. He got good SIGs, got balanced stats, and overall is just the character that if you're come into the game new, you've never played fighting game before, just play Budva. You have Budvas who are all the way up in top 10 in the world, and you've got Budvas who are bottom 10 in the world. He is going to be good all the way through the ranks. He doesn't have a specific stupid gimmick that you can use. He is just Budva. He's always going to be good. So if you're going to pick any character, pick Budva, because Budva will never be bad. All these other characters I said have never been bad. They could have some like big nerf or something, so both their weapons could get dumpstered in the floor. But even if that happened to Budva, both his weapons were bad, somehow Budva would still be a good character. Anyway, this has been a long one. If you're all the way here, subscribe and leave a character who you think I missed down below in the comments. Leave a character who you think I missed or who you want me to talk about. If you want to ask who you want to main, if you were thinking about maining like Azov, you know, just put that in the comments and I'll tell you why you shouldn't or should main the character, or who you should main instead. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later. Please subscribe to me.